Meghalaya Pradesh Congress Committee has criticized the state budget for 2022-23 by saying that the government resorted to too much borrowing, which will only bring additional burden to the state. Manuel Badwar, Congress member, while briefing the media person on Thursday, 10th of March 2022 in Shillong, said that the budget lacks vision and initiatives to overcome the current crisis that has been brought by COVID, and it fails to address the issues of unemployment, employment generation, and in providing sustainable opportunities for the people. He also pointed out that the Congress do not see much initiative in bettering health and living condition of the people, whereas this budget only highlighted many of CM's achievements. However, the fundamental macroeconomics of the state, as one would deduce from the budget, raise many red flags.
That might be available when it comes to issues of unemployment, employment generation, or even providing sustainable opportunities for the public at large. The loan repayment that will translate in the future years to come will definitely impact our financial stability. So that is one thing that we obviously had to point out. And obviously now it is allowed that the increase of borrowings is also there. So there has been an increased borrowings to 2,630 crores this year from what we used to do from the last year, which is 2,244 crores. And that also will definitely impact us in the years to come. Being a state that is more dependent on such things, I think it is not prudent on the part of the government to actually keep on increasing these borrowings year on year. Our revenue expenses as well has also gone up. Now, when we talk about revenue expenses, actually revenue expenses is a component of the budget which actually does not translate to much productive use. Okay? So basically it is compared to the revenue expenses that we used to have, we have the revenue expenses this year has increased by 10% over last year, whereas the revenue receipts has increased by only 5%. Okay, so these actually are being used at non-productive nature kind of expenses. So our revenue receipts has gone up primarily because of our so when we say that the revenue our revenue receipt has not gone up, has actually not gone up to that extent because of our inability to do a tax collection. An example, to give you one example of the same, is that, you know, the mining and the quarry itself, the revenue that we used to generate from it has actually slumped to even lesser than 1%. So the tax collection from there on GSDP, okay? Whereas when we look at it 6-7 years ago, it used to contribute 8% to our GSDP. It's not receiving any sort of income from these things, which is impacting us in a very big way. We seem to be spending more on festivities and other soft items that does not translate to capital infrastructure building. Now, the example that I'm trying to say is that if you look at a family perspective, okay, when you have a family and you have a limited income in the family, you also have to be good enough in the ways in which you want to spend your money, right? So we can't just keep on spending money on things that are, you know, festivities in nature and so on and so forth. We should also try to spend our money in terms of things which is probably going to be for development purposes even within the family. So just to give you an example, the same thing applies to the state. So, but then we are not able to receive the same amount of revenue from tax collection and so on and so forth, and we're becoming more and more dependent on loans. And on the contrary, our capital expenditure. Now, capital expenditure is something which we spend basically for the benefit of the future, right? So our capital expenditure has actually gone down from 3,647 crores in 2021-22 and now to 3,505 crores in 2022-23. In fact, in all the budgets in the previous years that has been presented by the Chief Minister himself, there has been an increase in revenue expenditure in percentage terms to capital expenditure. And this is a well-known fact, right? That an increase in capital expenditure actually leads to what we call as asset creation, job creation, infrastructure development, and thereby it actually helps in propelling our economy trajectory.